are these people?
If you've been paying attention on Twitter, something happened this last week that I find incredibly despicable, as I tend to find Israel doing every week. But they bombed a cafe on the coast, and you think, oh, that maybe they just don't like, lovely coffees and, like food for people to eat. But no, I think it's a little more insidious than that. So this is from Dave DeCamp over at Anti-War, right? Little, precursor. So he says at least 95 killed in Gaza as Israeli forces bomb cafe and shoot aid seekers. June 30th, medical sources told Al Jazeera on Monday that Israeli attacks killed at least 95 Palestinians in Gaza throughout the day as Israeli forces bombed a seaside cafe and gunned down more desperate people who were seeking aid. According to the Palestinian news agency Wafa, an Israeli airstrike hit the Al Baqa cafe in Gaza City, killing 33 people and injuring 50 others. Among the dead was journalist Ismail Abu Hattab, bringing the total number of Palestinian journalists killed since October 7th to 227, according to Wafa's count. Another journalist, Bayan Abu Sultan, was wounded in the attack, and photos and videos of the aftermath show her standing outside the cafe, covered in blood. Ali Abu Atilia, a survivor of the airstrike, told the AP that the cafe was struck when it was crowded with women and children. So this is Maha Hussaini. Hope I got that right. So this is from that cafe, right? So this is the aftermath, right? So, I mean, this is an entire building just now, like, rubble, practically, So, and there's this bear left in the fucking rubble, So, I mean, there's this from Rami Abdul. An Israeli missile tore this elderly man away from his wife. They tried to catch a breath by the shores of Gaza City. So there's that, right? And this is from the Palestinian Chronicle, right? And some bits from Ramsey Baroud, I think. So they write, over 30 Palestinians were killed and dozens were wounded on Monday when an Israeli airstrike hit Al Baqa Cafe, an outdoor venue on the western shores of Gaza City. According to medical sources and eyewitnesses, the cafe, constructed from tents and plastic sheeting, was a well-known meeting spot for journalists, artists, athletes, and residents seeking a brief respite by the sea. And internet. That's one of the key factors here. That this place had internet. Like internet access, right? So the strike left a large crater in the sand and reduced much of the cafe to rubble. Civil defense crews recovered at least 20 bodies and continued to search through the debris hours after the attack. Eyewitnesses said the venue was crowded at the time of the bombing. Among those killed were several prominent figures in Gaza's civil, cultural, and professional life. Their deaths represent a significant loss to a society already devastated by more than 8 months of continuous bombardment. So, first death was from Ismail Abu Hattab, a Palestinian photojournalist who was among the casualties. Abu Hattab had spent years documenting the impact on war on civilian life. In Gaza, his photographs, many of which appeared in both local and international media, offered a rare window into daily realities under siege, capturing not only scenes of destruction, but also moments of resilience and community. He was known for his courage in the field and his deep commitment to the truth. Colleagues described him as one of the most consistent documenters of the war's toll, often working under extreme risk to ensure the stories of others were told. So, Gaza Notification says, heartbreak. This is a previously recorded video of Ismail Hattab, who was just killed by the Israeli army in a brutal massacre in Gaza.
ونحن
نحب الحياة
We deserve to live a
إذا
decent
ما
life.
استطعنا
We love life too.
ونحن نحب الحياة إذا ما استطعنا إليها سبيلا.
So that's who Israel martyred. Some of Ishmael Hattab's work that I got for you from his social media accounts. Please share. So, you know, did incredible work. Ishmael Abu Hattab is injured in an airstrike in November. He recovered from his wounds in August and returned to work documenting some of the more atrocities in Gaza. Ishmael's photography was exhibited in Los Angeles in April. He was killed today. So here he writes, in the eyes, you see the story of a land that, how about I do that? In their eyes, you see the story of a land that never dies. You see the sea, the siege, and the dream of freedom. You see a mother's silence as she holds back tears to stay strong for her children. You see a child who's never known the word safety, but still dreams of it every night. The photos of Gaza's children are not just sad images, they are living messages to the world. We love life even when life doesn't love us back. Gaza is not just land, it is a spirit that lives within us, and it only dies when our hearts do. So his exhibit was called Between Sky and Sea. He was murdered along with 20 other people in the airstrikes on a cafe on the beach. So I suggest people ordering some of these. Right, I will try to find you a link for that. So, but 2 journalists identified among those killed by Israeli airstrikes in Al-Gaza, in Al-Baka Cafe in Gaza, Ishmael Abu Hattab and Omar Zaino. The Israeli strike targeted a group of journalists who usually meet at that cafe to upload their work. Right, so they literally went there for internet access, because there isn't any other access. So, similar how they're doing food, they are also using this as bait to kill innocent civilians, journalists at that, right? So, among the martyrs was Gaza's youngest female boxer, Malek Musla, right? At just 21 years old, Malek had become a symbol of determination and resistance. She trained at the Palestinian Boxing Center and frequently spoke about the challenges of pursuing sport as a woman in Gaza. Her athletic achievements and outspoken presence had made her an inspiration for many young Palestinians, especially girls. According to Palestinian sources in recent months, she had started mentoring younger athletes, believing that sport could offer structure and hope in the midst of chaos. Right? So, killed on June 30th, along with 27 others, including 2 journalists, activists, artists, and civilians. The strike targeted a busy seafront cafe. Right? And just to, have her lovely pictures up somewhere. But another martyr, Franz Al-Salmi, a visual artist, was among those killed. Her work, often created using charcoal and salvaged materials, centered on themes of death, trauma, and survival. One of her final paintings, produced shortly before her death, showed the body of a bloodied woman lying motionless in a white shroud. After the bombing, a photograph of Al-Sami's lifeless body, found in nearly the same position, circulated widely online. The resemblance between her final artwork and her death was striking. That's the painting and her last moment. So one of the 20 people Israel murdered in the cafe was visual artist Franz Al-Salmi, and here's some of her other work. Right? You're welcome to go find that and support that. But I just figured I'd bring a bit more. Right? So I don't know how you find the mediums even to do this in Gaza. That's incredibly impressive. Al-Salmi had participated in exhibitions and informal workshops, particularly for children, in displacement shelters. Her death marked not only the loss of a promising artist, but also the erasure of a voice committed to preserving Gaza's cultural life under impossible conditions. Another martyr, Mustafa Abu Amira, a Palestinian footballer, was also among the dead. A forward for Al Hilal Gaza Club, Abu Amir was recognized as one of the most promising players in the local league. Off the field, he volunteered in youth programs, helping to train children in Gaza's refugee camp. He had recently lost several family members in earlier attacks, but continued to attend practices and community events. His death came just as he was beginning to attract attention from clubs outside Gaza. So, Palestinian footballer Mustafa Abu Amir was killed in the Israeli airstrike on Al Baqa Cafe. He had played for clubs like Al Sadaka, Al Saitoun, and Al Shati Services. After the latest update from the PFA, he is the 438th player killed since October. 438th player. Like, I mean, journalist Bayan Abu Sultan survived the bombing, but had been at Al Baqa Cafe shortly before the strike. Months earlier, her brother was killed by an Israeli sniper near Al Shifa Hospital, an event that continues to shape her reporting. Abu Sultan has gained recognition for her coverage of the war, especially on social media, where she shares first-hand accounts of displacement, loss, and survival. So, this was her after the massacre. And Rami Abdullah, it's increasingly clear that Israel is deliberately targeting data upload hubs used by journalists to transmit reports and images. Picture journalist Bayan Palestine moments after the Israeli strike on Al Baqa Cafe, one of the few remaining internet access points in Gaza. So, she has video right after the bombing. She went in, right, as people were pulling bodies out of the rubble. Right, so I feel like this is already heavy enough. So, but thoughts, Collin? I mean, other than anger and rage, you know.
Yeah. Other than anger and rage, what else? How else can we feel?
Ugh, Jesus Christ, you know. So, well, I'll end on this. This is from Hunter S. Thompson. We've become a Nazi monster in the eyes of the whole world, a nation of bullies and bastards who would rather kill than live peacefully. We are not just whores for power and oil, but killer whores who with hate and fear in our hearts. We are human scum, and that is how history will judge us. Pretty hard shit from the gonzo journalist. So, he would have been demonetized on YouTube, I guarantee it. Like probably. We are also. And, you know, you can scan that QR code on your screen if you want to support us anyway, or go to co-v.com/indienewsnetwork. Links to donate are in the description below. But otherwise, just like and subscribe, share the video. It's the only way people see it. And leave a comment. Let us know what you think. You know, leave some lovely words to honor the people. But otherwise, thanks for watching.